Welcome to Gentle Somatic Yoga, HeartMath, and other tools for de-stressing during the holidays. During the holidays, we tend to even run around more than we do the rest of the year. And the more we go from thing to thing so quickly, we're putting ourselves in the sympathetic or fight and flight part of our nervous system, even though we're not fighting and flighting. Stress can be good and stress can be bad. It doesn't really matter. It's still perceived physiologically as stress, which raises our cortisol, which contracts everything inside and tightens up our muscles. So the importance of doing yoga during this holiday season is to shift into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest, your calm, your expansion, the peaceful part of the nervous system. And you need those moments, particularly during the holiday. So a lot of people give up their yoga during the holiday, and this is really one of the most important times to keep it going. So we'll start with just a simple breathing practice, and one of the ways to activate your parasympathetic or restful nervous system is to do a passive inhale, and then purse your lips and make an active exhale with a sound, almost like a hissing sound. Passive inhale. Passive inhale. And you should notice kind of a slight shift. If it makes you dizzy or lightheaded, do a little bit less. So make your inhale passive and make your exhale more active with like a pursed lip and a hissing sound. So that's a tool you could use throughout the day. Just take a moment and do that. So let's move into a HeartMath practice for getting into a little more ease during the holiday. And with HeartMath, you can either place your hand on the heart or not. I do so because it draws my attention there. And begin to slow your breathing down in and out of the chest area. Keep the breath calm and smooth. So the second step of this would be to draw in that feeling of ease, de-stress, relaxation, peace, whatever that feeling means to you. Sometimes we actually have to visualize a time and a place when we've been that way, particularly if in the last year or so it hasn't been very easeful. You might have to conjure up a memory or something that brings in that feeling of ease, or a person or a pet that makes you feel particularly easeful. Could be a sound or a color as well. Even a texture, the texture of clouds passing in the sky. Now again, this practice, your eyes can be opened or closed. It can be done as short as a minute, up to 5 minutes. And the reason that works so well is because what we're doing when we breathe into our chest or heart center is we're activating the nervous system within that area. And there are about 40,000 neurons. And the communication from this area goes up through the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve is your primary nerve of calmness. And it starts sending messages that we want to the pituitary and to the hypothalamus and all those centers of messaging in our body. Our brain is always reading everything out there. And when it reads something that's dangerous or when it perceives danger, and running around kind of could be perceived as danger, it sends a different message. And so anytime you can do something like this to send a calm message to the brain, you're creating a cascade of beautiful, relaxing hormones. All right, so just a couple of simple practices you can do. Everything we're going to do today is going to be slower than usual. So if you normally go like this, right, just go like this. So slow everything down. It may seem too slow for you, but give it a try. Just move in ways that are slower than you would normally move. I'm moving the shoulder in a lot of different planes. And this whole rocking thing, when we rock, whether it's side to side or forward and back, that's also a wonderful signal to our vagus nerve to put us in that calmer state. So we're going to be doing a lot of undulating today, undulating movements. And the slower you can go, the more effective this is. Raise your arms out to the side and draw them, giving yourself a bear hug. Lift them up, release them. Cross your arms the other way, bear hug again. Lift them up to release. Now draw one arm up and bend it and touch the same shoulder with that arm. Reach with the other hand and lift. You could change the pulse of your legs if they're getting tired of being that direction. Lean over. Don't stay. Sometimes when we stay in a move like that and stay too long, our body will respond with the opposite response than we want it. We want it to rest and relax and loosen and soften and expand, and it'll contract because it feels like it's in danger. Go ahead and release that. Lift the other arm up, touch the back, lift up the elbow with the opposite hand above the head, and then tilt over side to side. All right, release that. Place the arms behind your body, fingers pointed away, opening up the chest, and then rounding. Opening up the chest on the inhale, and rounding forward. Next time you open up the chest, open up the legs. Cobbler's pose, round forward, draw the knees together. Let the knees go out, open the chest, draw the knees in, close the chest. Last time. And draw the arms around your legs for a moment and just sit and check in. Check in a lot today, even if it's for just 5 seconds. Just notice how each of these little asanas are creating either space or more tension in the body. We want them to create space. So let's draw, if you're mirroring me, it would be the left leg in and the right leg out. And let's just notice first, when you're leaning over, what your natural range of motion is. So mine is about here. That's about it. And then we're going to work on trying to release some chronic tension, which will improve our range of motion. So lift arms up to the sky on inhale and just fall over on the exhale. Don't stay there. Draw the arms back. Inhaling and exhaling and back. And inhaling and exhaling and inhaling and exhaling. Sit for a moment. We're going to reverse the order of this. So now you're going to inhale as you're sitting here. Exhale, just release forward. And lift it up. Inhale. And come forward. Exhale. And lift it up. Inhale. And forward. Exhale. Now bend up the straight leg and either place the head on the knee or close to the knee, creating an energetic connection. And then just allow the leg to slowly straighten out. Maintaining the same distance between the head and the knee. Stop when you reach your range of motion. This is it for me. And release. Now place that leg back straight out and then fold over again and see if you're able to fold over a little more deeply without discomfort. So I have released a little bit, maybe a couple of inches more than I had. Let's change sides. So first, let's check our initial range of motion. This is our pre-check, and that's about it right now. Ooh, boy, I stick on this way. So that's about a foot and a half away. And then we'll start this little routine. Lift it up on an inhale. Just fall over on an exhale. Come on back. Lift it up on an inhale. Fall over on an exhale. Come back. And lift and fall over. Sit for a moment and just resituate yourself. We're going to go forward next. So inhale as you're sitting here. Exhale, lean forward and lift on the inhale. Exhale, lean forward and lift on the inhale. Third time. Exhale, lean forward and lift on the inhale. Bend this knee up. Place your head either on the knee or energetically connected to the knee, as close as feels comfortable. And then slowly slide this leg away. And when you get to your fullest range of motion, where it's going to cause discomfort when you go further, take a breath or two here. And then release, straighten that leg out, and then see if you have gained some range of motion. Oh my goodness, I have half as close now, or half more close. All right, go ahead and release that. And put your hands behind your back. Open up the chest on an inhale. But we're doing this the opposite way this time. Collapse the body as your knees go out. Open up the chest on an inhale. Slide the body forward as your knees go out. And open up the chest. And release. And then just release forward and see how your range of motion is in this place. And breathe. Let's check in and see how we're feeling before we move to the next sequence. Is there any place that's feeling a little less stress? That's the aim of today's practice. Get rid of some stress. So let's go into mermaid, deer, cheerleader pose. It's got so many names. My new favorite thing to do in this pose is to, when I twist off, lift the rear. When I twist back, lower the rear, but lift the back knee. So it's kind of a little wind up twirl. And close your eyes once you sense what you're doing. We're getting so many muscles involved, and we're just moving in a really safe, lovely way. Nice. All right. Now take the hand on the hip and just move that hip in many different angles, many different directions. Move it up and down. Move it forward and back. Do a figure eight. Reverse the figure eight. Do a half circle. Do a half circle back. What we're trying to do is move in every direction rather than just one direction. And place hands on either side of the front knee. And then do like little mini cat-cows, which I call a dolphin, dipping the nose in that one. Trying to gain some freedom of movement here. Now take this leg that was behind you and draw it completely across the body. Now, if this doesn't work to sit with both legs bent like this, the underneath leg could straighten out. Otherwise, you can leave it bent. Sit up straight and tall for a moment, lift up, and then let's go ahead and twist toward the front leg. And then release it into like a really soft position. Lift it up and twist it. Lower it and soften the back body. And last time, lift it and twist. And lower and soften. Once again, place hands behind the back, legs in front. Let's open up the chest, and this time we'll open up the knees when we open the chest. Let's close the chest, draw the chin and knees together. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Set up for the other side. So if you're mirroring me, your right knee would be in front and your left knee behind. So let's begin with our twisting series. Twist off. When you come back and you put the butt back on the ground, your knee lifts. Eyes can be closed. You can sense more with your eyes closed. And last time. So check in for a minute, see how you're feeling. Cradle the hands around the front leg. Imagine you are a dolphin swimming and dipping your bottlenose up. So come down and shift up. Come down and up. Eyes can be closed to get more out of this pose. And last time. All right. Take this leg, which is behind, cross it all the way in front. You can keep both legs bent like that, or You can straighten it out on this side. It feels better for me to have this leg straight. Sitting up straight and tall, or twisting toward your left. So when you twist, engage, and you release the twist, let it go. Twist, engage, release forward, let it go. And twist, and let it go. One last time, legs in front, hands behind. This time when you draw your knees out to the side, round forward. When you draw your knees up, chin up, engage the back body. And last time. And then just let the knees drop over and see what your range of motion is coming from. How are you feeling? I hope a little less stress in the body. And when you have less stress in the body, you're going to have less stress in the mind, right? They kind of communicate with each other. So let's make our way to hands and knees. And if you have a blanket, I'd kind of like for you to spread your blanket on your mat for a couple of things that we're going to do that are going to involve sliding your foot. And if you have a sticky mat, your foot doesn't slide as well. So I'm going to have the blanket eventually spread out completely, but for now I'll just do it partly. Or at least I'll put it under my legs when I'm doing the stuff on the back, which will allow me to slide a little bit more. So let's go ahead and rock. Rocking is really good for releasing stress and tension. So we're rocking side to side. Again, I'm probably even rocking too fast. Rock slow, rock slow. Rock your legs now. So by lifting the feet, just rock them. Now come down to the forearms. And from here, I'm going to have you lift up to one hand and lean over. Lift up to the other hand and lean over. So we're still kind of a rocking chair. Be careful with your neck. Now shift forward and back a few times. And you can make this a small rock or a really big rock. You can build it up. And next time you rock back, rock all the way back into a child's pose. You can create a pillow, lean your head on the ground. All right, let's come onto our bellies. Just do one sequence on the belly. My new favorite way of doing Cobra, which I learned from another Gentle Somatic Yoga teacher. I really like this method because I think it's a little safer for our backs. So what you do with your arms is up to you. It doesn't really matter, whatever you want to do with your arms. You could put them here. You could make a pillow. So I'm going to start with mine by my side. And without moving your upper body, tuck the toes in and engage the muscles of the legs. Now lift your upper body up, not to tension, short of tension. Engage muscles.
And then release down. You can even relax your arms in between. And then bring them back up again. Tuck the toes. Engage the muscles of the legs to lift the knees off the ground. Lift up. Make sure you're engaged in your belly, keeping your back safe. Releasing the feet first, and then releasing the head, and then arms. One last, well, 2 more times. First, the feet engage, then the legs, the knees come off the ground, then the upper body lifts, and release the feet down, release the body down, release the arms. Now, keeping your left arm with the palm facing the sky, so your shoulder is just going to stay there on the ground. Take your right hand and place that palm facing down, either under the forehead, or if you don't have neck strain, you could put it under the left cheek. I have neck strain, so mine's going to be under the forehead. So try to keep that left shoulder on the ground the whole time, and just lift up, almost saluting to the left, and then come down. And do that 2 more times. Lift and down. And 3rd time, and down. And if you want to, you could add the opposite leg just to strengthen your back body. And down. Make sure you're releasing all muscular effort when you get down. And 2, and down. Let's switch arms. So now my right arm is by my side, palm up. My left arm is bent with the palm down, either under your forehead or under the right cheek. As you inhale, you're going to lift up, keeping that right shoulder planted on the ground, and come down. So you look like you're saluting. And number 3. And now if you want to add the opposite leg, you're not going for height, you're going for length. So imagine your arm and your leg are being pulled away from each other. All right. Let's go ahead and release all of that, release all tension, and just, I don't know if this mic is working. It's really strange, but I hope it is. Side to side and side to side. All right, let's make our way onto our back body. Not seeing anything. None of this. Now I'm saying something. I don't know. This mic is a mystery today. Let's get it to work. Okay. Well, let's go into a mudra practice. So sit up in any comfortable seated position. And this mudra is about withdrawing your senses inward. And really, you need to do this once in a while, particularly in times when you're just going, and everything is outward. You have to take that time to draw in. So this is called the Kurma Mudra, and Kurma is the gesture of the tortoise. And you know how the turtle draws their head in when they want to be away from everybody. So you can imagine we're all turtles and we're drawing our heads in to give our senses a break. So the setup is a little complicated, so hang in there with me. You're going to curl the middle and the ring finger of the right hand into the right palm. So middle ring finger curled in.
Then you're going to place the right hand palm down into the palm of the left hand. Now the right thumb, which is sticking out, is going to touch the left wrist. The right index finger is going to touch the left thumb. Got that? And the right little finger, if you can get it, is going to touch the index finger of the left hand. Okay, so you've got right thumb on left wrist, right index finger touching left thumb, right pinky touching left index finger, and the rest of the left fingers curl around to hold this in place. Basically, we've created our shell of our turtle, and now everything's tucked in. Okay, so go ahead and lean this up against your body. And the Karma Mudra directs your breath, your awareness, and your energy into your pelvis and the lower abdomen, which elicits the relaxation response, which naturally reduces heart rate and blood pressure. And the gesture lengthens the pauses between breath, which is optimizing of the absorption of oxygen and nutrients, and that further restores you. At a subtle level, the lengthened pauses between breaths allow your life force energy to be absorbed completely, which supports restoration and healing. And it also cultivates inner silence, allowing us to attune to the inherent serenity of our true being. So the deeply relaxing effect of the Karma Mudra, together with the withdrawal of senses, is like entering an inner sanctuary of restoration and healing. And that'll allow you to be more renewed in all your activities during the busy time. All right, restoring the senses. If your eyes are not already closed, go ahead and do that. As you hold the Karma Mudra, take several natural breaths to attune to all the feelings and the sensations evoked by the gesture. Notice how your breath is gently directed into your pelvis and the base of your body, becoming smooth and deep, allowing you to relax completely. As you relax more deeply, we're going to invite each of your senses to turn inward, as if entering an inner sanctuary of restoration and healing. Begin by inviting your nose and your sinus passages to relax deeply. Take several breaths to allow your sense of smell to be restored completely. Now soften your throat, your tongue, your mouth, and your jaw, inviting your sense of taste to enter your sanctuary of restoration and healing. Take several breaths to savor the nourishment of your inner being. Your sense of sight now turns inward. Take several breaths to allow your eyes to be bathed in timeless healing, restoring them completely. Now your sense of touch enters your sanctuary. Take several breaths to sense the nourishing embrace of your own inner being as it envelops you with healing energy. And finally, invite your sense of hearing to turn inward. Take several breaths to soften your outer and inner ears, resting completely in the silence of your inner sanctuary. As your senses rest deeply within the inner sanctuary, the thoughts become slower, lighter, more serene, allowing all dimensions of your being to be restored, rested, and healed completely. We will affirm your healing as we repeat the following 3 times, aloud or silently. Resting in my inner sanctuary, I experience complete restoration and healing. Resting in my inner sanctuary, I experience complete restoration and healing. Resting in my inner sanctuary, I experience complete restoration and healing. Slowly release the gesture. Take several breaths to allow your senses to completely rest. And as you're ready, opening up your eyes, returning slowly and gently. And we will come onto our backs, but if you have that blanket, go ahead and spread the blanket out completely. And one block would be helpful, or a bolster or pillow for the end of class. And also, if you have some sort of strap, even a tie or something that you could use at the end of class too. So go ahead and grab all those things. So we're going to lay a blanket completely out over our mat. And you don't even actually have to have a mat for this. You could do this whole routine on a blanket. And again, blankets are really good for being able to slide a little bit, like sliding your feet up and down. So once your blanket is completely stretched out, go ahead and lay on it. All right. And if it doesn't bother your low back, go ahead and stretch your legs out. Just to feel the sacrum and up here the neck area, your cervical spine, and the cranium, your back of your head. So the cranium to the sacrum are very good for activating the relaxation response. The vagus nerve connects those two. And so if you can lift up your low back just for a second and tuck your chin in, and then lower your back on the ground and lift your chin up. So lift your low back up a little bit and tuck the chin in. And I'm putting my hands under just to demonstrate. You don't have to. Lower the back down and lift the chin up. And then last time, lift the back up, tuck the chin in, lower the back down, and lift the chin up. Now bend up the knees. We're going to do this slightly differently. Draw the arms behind your neck. So this time, when you lift the low back up, your chin is lifting up. When you lower the low back down, your chin is tucking in and your elbows coming slightly together. Lower this down, chin to sky, low back lifts, flatten back, chin to chest. One more time, chin to sky, lower back lifts, flatten, and chin to chest. Now,
if you can, try to rock one knee forward. Now, it's not going to be very extreme, so I'm just almost like I'm pressing that knee forward, which is creating a little more space under this side of the hip, and then rock it back. And then press the other knee forward and rock it back. So it's almost like you're marching, your knees are going. And what we're doing again is creating some space down in your sacrum. Go forward. So the next time you rock your knee forward, put your arms in a cactus position with the palms on the ground. So that right knee is walking forward. I want you to lengthen the right arm up, getting a whole length on that side. Coming back, rock the left knee forward, lengthen the left arm above your head, but keep the back of the palm on the ground and back. So you're doing a gentle rocking with a lengthening. Come back and gentle rocking with lengthening and come back. And let's check in for a minute. You can either check in with your knees bent or your legs on the ground. So we are activating the parasympathetic response, the relaxation response with these gentle movements. So let's just check in and see how they're working for you. So draw your arms out into a T. The palms are facing up. We're going to get into a twist in a little different way. This is really where you need your blanket. We're going to slide our legs to one side, slide everything back to We're going to slide our legs to the other side, slide everything back to the slide it. So we're getting into a twist just by sliding our feet and slide and come back. And let's check in again. See how we're feeling. Hopefully we're creating some space within this sacral area. Come back to knees bent, feet on the ground, and widen the feet a little bit from each other. And we're going to allow one knee to fall in. So my right knee is falling in, and my left arm is going to lengthen above my body, but I'm going to look right and come on back. Now my left knee is going to fall in. I'll look left and allow my right arm to lengthen on the ground above and come back. Right knee in, look right. Let the arm lengthen on the ground above the head and back. Left knee in, look left. Right arm lengthens and come back. So you can either check in with your knees bent or check in with your legs on the ground. Shake things out a little bit. Shaking is another method to get tension out. You can just sort of, wiggle around, shake it out. Let's gently turn our head side to side without lifting the head off the ground. Just notice your range of motion. So cup the hands behind the head again. And this time, instead of lifting it, I want you to tilt your right arm to 6 o'clock. That's not going to go all the way to 6 o'clock, probably 4 o'clock. And my left arm is trying to go to 12 o'clock. Got it? Come back to the side. Now, my left arm is going down to 4 o'clock, 7, I don't know, tilting down. And your right arm is tilting up, trying to get to noon and back. So the next time you tilt to the right, allow your right knee to come in and your left knee to go out. And come back to center. Next time you tilt to the left, allow the left knee to come in and the right knee to go out. And back to center. So now we'll do a bridge pose with a neck release. So your hands are still behind your head. Lift up your hips into a bridge pose and lift your neck with your hands, the whole head. Lower the bridge pose and lower the head and release tension. Do that 2 more times. Lift and lift the head. Lower hips. Lower head. Let go of all effort. 3rd time. Lift the hips and lift the head. Lower the hips and lower the head. Now, turn your head maybe 15 degrees, 25 degrees to the right. You still have your hands behind your head. We're going to repeat the whole sequence. Lift the hips, lift the head, lower the hips, and lower the head, release tension. Do this 2 more times. Lift the hips into a bridge pose. Raise the head up with the arms. Lower the hips first. And lower the head, release elbow tension and everything. Last time, lift the hips. Lift the head. And lower the hips. Lower the head. Release the arms. Allow your head to turn to the right. And see if it has a little more range. We still have to do the left. So draw the arms back behind the head. We'll do one in the middle. Lift the hips. Lift the head. Lower hips. Lower head. Now turn and look a little bit to the left. Do 3 with the head in this position. Lift the hips. Lift the head. Lower hips. Lower head. Number 2, lift the hips. Lift the head. Lower hips. Lower head. And number 3, lift hips. Lift head. Lower hips. Lower head. Release the arms. Release tension and see if your neck is allowing you to turn your head a little further to the left. Now just allow your head to turn side to side a few times. All right, we're going to go into more of a restorative pose. So if you have a strap, the strap can be used in one of 2 ways. My strap has a loop on it, and so I'm just going to secure my legs in the strap when I do legs in the air. But if you don't have one of those, if you have something, you could just put it around your feet and hold it with your arms as your legs are here. We are going to raise your sacrum, and you can do so either with a cushion or with a block. So place either a cushion or a block underneath your sacrum. This is very good for the relaxation response. Either hook this around your thighs like this, or hook it around your feet. And let's do some humming while we're here. Making a sound. You could just, or you could do like, or peace, whatever you want to say. And you are welcome to stay in this pose, or you can find a different shavasana, whatever feels best in your body. I don't know if you can hear the bells. If you can, that signals your time for your rest. So this reading from Mark Nepo is called Surrender Like a Duck. It was years ago. I remember it clearly. I was walking along the shore of a lake in the middle of the day, and there in the sun, a good 10 yards out, was a duck curled in itself asleep. With its slick, tufted head tucked into its body, it bobbed peacefully in the lapping of the water. This little scene undid me, for here was the ultimate lesson in trust. Without any intent or knowledge of itself, this little duck, asleep in the womb of the world, was a deep and wordless teacher. If only we could surrender this completely to the mystery of life, we would be carried and renewed. It was obvious that the duck would wake and swim its little patterns on the water. But this little creature's ability to let go so completely allowed its time on earth to be filled and saturated, if just for a few minutes, with a deep depth of peace that only surrender can open us to. Only rarely have I let go this completely, yet those moments of total surrender have thoroughly changed my life. When struck with cancer, I somehow fell from the ledge of my fear and entered the operating room like this little duck. It was a threshold to the other side. When lonely and afraid to reach out, I have somehow collapsed repeatedly into the ocean of another's love, and it has cleansed my weary heart. And in my search now for wisdom to live by, I stumble at times, and I surrender what I think I know so completely that I find myself adrift in a deeper way that is neither wise nor unwise, but simply life-affirming. So, during this holiday season, when you're tired, sit quietly and breathe away the heaviness of the day. With each breath, release a thing undone, a bruise encountered,
a worry or a fear that has been fed. Do not analyze or solve these things. Just breathe them away. Once light enough, see yourself as that little duck and feel the lapping of the mystery all around you. Feel its buoyancy. For just 10 seconds, surrender. Soften all resistance and let the water of life carry you. So just rest for another minute or two. See if you can surrender. Surrender to the rest.